how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, my pleasure. What else? It's a Thursday morning. Let's chat.
Whereabouts are you in the world?
I'm in Vancouver, Canada.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Vancouver?
Just outside.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, so our podcast is about your journey in music and how you got to where
Cool.
you are today.
Nice.
Yeah. So tell me, so born and raised in Vancouver.
Yeah, just I'm from Kelowna, which is like 4 hours away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is that like a pretty big city, smaller town?
It's a smaller town, very much like a lakeside
Okay.
vacation spot.
Very cool. And how did you get into music?
Just always been in me. No, I started taking singing lessons when I was 8,
Okay.
and I was a trained classical singer for 10 years.
Wow.
Then went rogue and did my own thing, and here we are. It's been a long time coming for me to be not singing opera anymore, but sorry, I got an email.
No problem. So you did opera. That was that. Tell me about that, because I know opera is like in a different language most of the time, and was that hard to pick up?
Yeah, it was. I didn't have any struggles. Like, it was kind of just like when you're learning it from ages 8 and up, you don't really realize that you're like singing in a different language. It just kind of seems like music or whatever, but it becomes hard to relate to when you're a teenager. I found that I couldn't see myself singing these arias about like these 13-year-old Italian girls who are like scared to marry this guy or whatever it's about. And so, yeah, I just like couldn't relate to it anymore. And I was like, why am I putting all this effort into something that isn't me,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And because you probably weren't listening to opera, were you? As a child, maybe more
no,
pop radio.
Yeah, it wasn't like my top played songs on my playlist, but
Right.
I mean, I do enjoy Mozart now and then.
Okay.
Maybe
Very
Mozart.
cool. So classically trained vocals. Did you play an instrument at all, or just sing?
I played piano for 6 years, and I just yesterday found all my old sheet music in my like lesson notebook, and I'm trying to teach myself. I gave myself a challenge that I'm going to relearn one piece of music that I apparently was able to play when I was like 13, and it's insane to me what it sounds like if I learn it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You can read sheet music then.
It takes me a while. I'll be like, every good boy deserves fudge.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still cool. I mean, a lot of people can't sight read at all, so that's nice that you have that skill set. So when did you start writing music? You were performing, opera stuff, but when did you start writing your own stuff?
I don't know when I first started. I think I was always kind of writing little ditties. I picked up the ukulele, which was like the easiest thing I could have done. It's kind of like a cop out for me to just like try and learn an instrument. It is like the easiest instrument, although there are people who are very good at it and I couldn't get to their level ever. But I think maybe when I was like 16 or 17, I was trying to do it myself subconsciously, not realizing it's what I wanted to do. And then when I was 18, I was like, oh, I'll do it my way.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just keep playing songs on the ukulele and buy European tours. Like, I don't want to do that anymore, weirdly.
You were touring Europe?
Yeah, I had a vocal ensemble called Candeska, and we toured Europe like 2 times. It was pretty cool. Like, a really cool experience for like a teenager who didn't appreciate it at the time.
I was gonna say, you must have been pretty young, and was this with school or something that you got a chance to do that?
No, it's outside of school. All my lessons were like extracurricular, but yeah, I was 14 when we first went to Europe, and I wish I like really realized what was happening, because I was kind of just like, anyway, cathedral, moving on.
So you guys are playing big rooms and stuff?
Yeah, it was pretty, like, looking back on it, it was insane. And of course, in the moment, I was just like, when are we going home? When can I watch TV again?
Right.
Yeah.
So did you get to experience Europe at all when you're there, or was it kind of moving around with your group of, you know, singers or whatever to the next
Your group of
shows.
criminal friends. Like,
Criminals.
yeah, we made sure that we like did the touristy thing,
That's
and
cool.
yeah, I mean, we were kids, so like we had to have some fun.
Sure. So you
Yeah.
get back from touring with the ensemble, and when did you stop doing that and focusing more on, you know, the lane you're in now?
I was 18, I'm pretty sure. 17 turning 18, like my last year of high school. I think midway through, I was like, this is my last recital.
Oh, okay. So you knew going into it, you're like,
Yeah.
after this, I'm done.
Yeah.
Do you remember what, like, was it like a big, you know, kind of end to it all, or was it just anticlimactic? It was just like, okay, that's done. Now I'm done.
I think it was anticlimactic because I was just like, I didn't realize it was over till it was over because I just didn't see I thought I was going to go to school for it, you know, growing up. And then all through the 12th grade, I was like, no, this isn't happening. So it's just like a slow burnout, you know?
Sure.
I
Yeah.
burnt out.
And then at 18, you started writing your own songs.
Yeah.
And how did that go? Like, what was you? So you had the ukulele. Was this is that how you started writing for your first songs as well?
Yeah. So they were not good. And yeah, I have like a lot of old archived music that is very interesting, to say the least.
And so those didn't see the light of day. Obviously, you just kind of had them.
I think they did at some point for sure, but they're in the vault now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In the vault now. Okay, so tell me about, like, so was the first release that the EP that you put out called Late Bloomer? Was that the first thing you released?
No, I had something previously called Lonely Songs for Dog Lovers.
That's a cool name.
I had my dog on the front. My dad drew it. And I remember we had an EP release at this bar called Fernando's Bar in Kelowna. And it was like the biggest thing I'd ever done for myself. So it was like a really proud moment, but the songs are just like not me anymore. And I made the executive decision to private them on Bandcamp. Like
Okay.
a couple of years ago. Maybe I'll resurface them just to say that I've grown.
Sure. Well, with that first EP, I mean, that sounds like it was a big event. You had a big release show, and like, did you tell me about going to the studio and recording the songs?
Oh my God, I fully have like repressed it for sure. Because recording this last album, I was under the impression that I had never really been in a studio with like an actual engineer that's not a bandmate. Like for all my past releases, it's been like a home studio at my guitarist Trevor's house, and we kind of do it and collaborate on it together. And it's not like an official studio. It's very DIY, really fun, but it wasn't like a big studio. And when we were recording Below Salt, I was like, I had all these resurfacing memories that I had done this before. Or the first EP I'd ever done, we had gone into a studio, and it was very weird because I was like 18, didn't know what to do. I think I just sat there and was quietly watching for like, I think we had the studio for like 10 days, which was really weird. It was just like a completely out of my comfort zone. So I think the whole time I was just very, very scared. So I like blacked it out.
Oh, wow. Once you did the album release or the EP release show, what was next for you? Did you play the record out? Did you tour or do anything like that?
I did a tiny little solo tour across Canada, or well, just like Canada to West Coast to like mid Canada.
And was that, tell me about that tour. Did you go on your own?
I went on with my friend at the time who was like managing me. Just kind of, you're just trying to do it, you know, and it was very unofficial, and it was so cute, and I remember it really well. It was super new to me and really fun. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the shows were like me playing background music for dinner at this restaurant or something, like very small but still like super worthwhile. I think it was really cute.
Wow. And did you just go in like your car or something?
Yeah,
Or do you have like, okay.
just like it was like a road trip where on away like we made pit stops along the way of me just like singing a 30-minute set and then we would go again.
That's
It was,
so
it was
cool.
really cute.
That must have been a cool experience too,
Yeah.
to go out on
Like,
the road and play
again,
your
one of those
songs.
totally, and one of those moments where I like didn't really, I should have like taken a moment and took it in, but
Mm-hmm.
you know,
So,
I learned my lesson.
so you get back from that tour, and then when does Late Bloomer come out, and when did you start working on that record?
That was about 2 years later.
Okay.
I think or maybe 2 or 3. I started working on it the first year I moved to Vancouver. I moved to Vancouver in 2015. Sorry, I have super bad allergies right now.
Oh, it's okay. No worries.
Withholding a sneeze. At the end of 2015, I just started working on it, and it's super like underproduced. I think every song is a one take song.
Oh,
I
wow.
didn't know how to like edit or do it. It was on GarageBand, and I just took it to a friend of mine who I knew mixed, and I was like, sure, go ahead and mix and master. I love when that happens to music, and I know what it means. And he did it for free, and I was like, this sounds sweet. I love reverb now. It is so new. I was such a little baby, but yeah, I mean,
With that one, the same thing. Did you hop in the car and tour it across Canada?
no, I just let that one simmer on the internet.
Just let it ride.
Yeah, let it ride, let it rock.
Okay. And from there, what did you do next?
Mm. I think I took like a long time, and I didn't really release music. I was doing a lot of like covers on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like kind of relishing in the fact that people were actually listening to the songs. And so I think that like made me content for a couple of years. You know, I was kind of riding that high
Mm-hmm.
that these songs are getting listened to and people are relating to them and doing things to the music in a nice way, like covering them, making fan art, stuff like that. So I released, I think, when was this? 2018? End of 2017, I did like a demo EP that was, again, like not thought through, unmixed, unmastered, put on Spotify, just like complete risk, just like seeing if these will stick. And that was fun. And then in 2018, early 2018, I released Let Yourself Go
Okay.
EP that I was like my first time trying my hand, other than like the very first EP that we don't talk about, trying my hand at like higher produced stuff. And that was when I had a full band for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And tell me about that. Was it hard? Were the songs that you wrote just like more guitar vocal driven, and then the band would kind of form around it? How did that work?
Totally. So I met my now drummer through my friend's other band. He kind of was like a session player in a lot of Victoria, Vancouver bands. Victoria is just like an island off nearby Vancouver. And he suggested that I just send him some songs that I'm working on and he'll try and do some drums. Cause I was like, I don't know what drums you just bang, bang, hit the drum. I don't know how to do it. And I sent them to him and he's added like bass parts and he was a lot more experienced in production. So we kind of like worked on the songs together, and then we brought it to Trevor, who is also in a band with Brennan. Those are the two that kind of like helped shape the sound of Let Yourself Go, and we worked on it all together, and they are multi-instrumentalists. So it was very easy for me to just say like, here you go.
Sure. Here's my songs.
Yeah.
That's cool. And one of those, I mean, a song on that record is done very, very, very well on Spotify that I'm looking at right now, Small Foreign Faction. Tell me about that song and how, I mean, it's at almost, it's over 2.3 million plays.
Yeah, that's sheer luck for sure. I don't know how that happened, but that's cool because it is one of like the songs I'm very proud of in hindsight. Like I loved producing it and seeing it come together. It was like exactly what I had pictured in my mind, which I think is sometimes rare when you're like a little baby in a studio and you don't know how to tell your friends or collaborators what you want in the song. Like it was very intuitive for all of us, which is cool.
That's cool.
And yeah, I don't know how it.
Did you get playlisted or something? Do you have any idea? Or just.
It must have. I think it's been on like a couple editorial playlists for a couple years now. What year is it? 2020?
2020, I think.
2 years.
This year just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Wow. But I mean, still, did you see like growth with it? Like you put it up and you must have seen something happen if it's
Yeah.
to see that level of streams, I would think.
I
I mean,
think that
I don't
like
know.
it spiked after we had released it. So I went on tour with this EP,
Mhm.
and I think it was just kind of like the crowd favorite. And I think just behind the scenes, like I wasn't watching it grow, and it just was. And then one day I looked and I was like, oh,
Whoa.
cool. That's cute.
That's cool. And so you toured that EP,
Yeah.
just Canada still?
Yeah. Across Canada, me and my band in a van. I bought a van for it. It was very like DIY, like sleepless nights, junk food tour, which is just so fun.
Was that quite a bit different because you're touring with a full band now?
Yeah, all boys, stinky boys in a van. And me like driving, being like, shut up. Quiet down back there. Don't make me come back there.
You had to be tour mom and
Yeah,
talent.
I'm always tour mom.
That's funny. Was it like the show's different? Like, had you played a lot as a full band at this point?
No, not at all. So the shows were different. They like some of them were packed because I guess just like being on the internet, people want to come to see you in real life, which is cool.
Right.
And so it was like totally a different experience, and we had not like we didn't know what to expect at all, and it was like pretty surprising and super loved it. Yeah, super cool.
So tell me, and then that leads us up into the new record now, right? And tell me about this new album. It's your first full length.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
Talk
can
to
I
me about
tell
the
you? What
new
can I tell you
record.
about this song? These songs. It's one of those like I didn't really know I was making it until I was making it, and I had all these songs. So it's not really like a grandiose concept behind it. It's just like bookmarks in my life, but it's like a compilation of just like random songs I wrote over the last couple of years, and has my niece on the front of it. So
Oh, that's cool.
it's very
That's it.
special. It's like a bookmark of all like the highlights and lowlights in my life over the last like 3 years. And yeah, I'm just super proud of it, and just the fact that I could overcome a lot of like anxieties and stuff with like releasing music and being in a studio. And I don't know, there's a lot of growth. I learned so much from recording it, and also being on like the shelling out end of like trying to release music in a proper way that's not just like here's my album or here's my EP, bye. Like trying to
Right.
actually make it like a legit release has been really interesting, because I've never really had to worry about that before, because now I have a team behind it, and it's a lot of trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of. Were there a lot of collaborations on the record? I know. Are there a lot of features?
Yeah, well, we produced it with a couple of producers. So for a handful of the songs, we brought in Pat and Alaina from Tennis, the band Tennis.
Oh, okay. I know that band.
Yeah, they're awesome. I'm like a huge fan of them, and they came in and produced three songs, and that was so awesome. And then like 5 months later, we took like a hiatus and brought in a local producer and singer-songwriter called Louise Burns. And she was cool because she had like an edgier darkness to her, whereas Tennis is a lot more like summery and upbeat. So there's like this yin and yang on the album that is like weirdly consistent, and it worked even though there was like 6 months of a gap between them. So it's cool.
That's cool. And
Yeah.
I saw that you're doing like a big live show coming up, on Sunday?
Yeah, we're doing a live stream.
Is that going to be the whole record? Like, talk to me about that.
It's the whole record minus some songs that we have to kind of work out the kinks of how to perform them live, because a lot of these songs there's so many layers on them that sound fun in a recording, but like trying to emulate it live is kind of a bit trickier, because I can't have like 1,000 people on stage with me playing different instruments. So
yeah, I was going to ask you how you think that's going to work. Are you going to be all together, or just you're going to play them all out yourself?
yeah, it's a full band. It's still a full band.
Okay.
But yeah, just like some of the songs, there's too many synths and we can't
Okay.
have too many synths, you know?
Yeah.
So
Have you had a chance to practice it at all, or it's
yeah.
coming up on? Yeah, so you've been able to get out and play a little bit as far as together.
Yeah, and it's pre-recorded.
Well, most of them are, I would think.
Yeah. It's a live performance, whereas like we were doing it live at one point.
Yeah, and then it goes up. It's funny because like in the beginning of the quarantine, when everyone was doing their like Zoom live videos or the Zoom live streams,
Yeah.
it was so funny because people were faking it. It was like it was live, but like there's all the latency issues with Zoom, so you can't really like if I was playing something right now and you were trying to sing over it, it wouldn't come out as
Right.
in time. But yeah, I remember a lot of people were doing that, and this is a band called Pup. They're like a punk band, and they did like here's what it would sound like if we play, if like this is why these are all like not really work, like they're all produced later. Yeah. And they like released this version of just like it was just noise. It's so funny because it's like them playing, but it's just like warps a million times, just sounds like it's just so weird, but it's just funny how that happens. So I'm sure people by this time know that everything's kind of
and like the way we've edited it makes it kind of seem like it's like a TV special or something like that. You're just kind of tuning in to this video. It's just really good.
Very cool. So that's on Sunday.
Yeah.
And what about other live streams? Have you done any more things to promote the record?
Not really, because I don't know. I'm enjoying just letting it lay and like letting everyone else have it. And I'm kind of like taking a back seat and letting them like they're now other people's songs, like it's nice just like releasing it. We had like a merch run and like actually physical vinyl, which I'd never had before.
That's cool.
Just stuff like that I was like, okay, let's do that. And then the rest of it, I'm just going to let it sit. And you guys, they're your songs now. Enjoy.
And I want to talk to you real quick about the music video for Be Your Own Muse. Was that shot pre or during the quarantine?
That was beginning of February.
Okay, so right before everything kind of locked down.
Yeah.
Tell me about the video a little bit.
Well, it's shot by my partner, Jake.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, he did an amazing job like making this vision of the song come to life.
Mm-hmm.
It really is about like kind of being lonely and finding the inspiration in yourself. And I think that's really emulated in the video really well. And it was such a fun shoot. It was a very like big production, and I was just so like touched that this was coming together so fruitfully. And it's a one-shot video shot at the Astoria in Vancouver, which is like a pretty historic kind of grungy bar, and a lot of friends and mutual musicians are featured in the video, as well as just like some cool extras who had to be biker people or whatever for the day, and they just like loved it and were a bit too happy, like they're just like happy to be there, and you could really see it, which was awesome. But yeah, I wanted everyone to be angrier at me.
Oh, they were too happy.
It's too hard when you're just like having so much fun. So
sure, that's so cool.
Awesome.
Well, congratulations on the new record. That's so rad that you got the full length out now, and you got your live performance coming up in the next couple days.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. No worries.
I have one more question for you.
Cool.
I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
I think there's no better time than to just, if you want to write music, keep like writing a song a day. Just keep trying. Bringing it backward.